أسألك يا من هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار.
Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put the blessings in the words that we utter and the time we spend here to reflect on our reality. Undoubtedly, my dear brothers and sisters, my Canadian, American brothers and sisters, I have to tell you, our reality has changed. And it's getting, unfortunately, worse. However, it makes us stronger, inshallah. It makes us stand for the truth, because this is the time where we need to show it, speak for it, and promote it. My brothers and sisters, in the name of Islam, in the name of this beautiful religion that says you can't be a good Muslim unless you are a good human being, in the name of this religion that says a Muslim is the one who avoids harming others with his hands and his tongue, a Muslim is the one whose neighbor is safe from his harm or her harm, a Muslim is the one who is good to others. A Muslim, a true Muslim, is a man who is, or a woman, or a child, or a young, man or woman who promotes peace, promotes consolation, promotes, agreement, promotes, consensus, promotes working together, promotes helping one another. This is what Islam. This is the Islam that our mothers and fathers taught us before we went to school and learned about it in the books. In reality, this is my Islam and your Islam, not the Islam that we watch now in the news. Young people who want to make a shortcut to heaven. Literally, they're brainwashed and told that you can go to heaven, you can go to Jannah if you kill as many as possible. So just blow up yourself. I have written extensively. I have lectured not only in Muslim circles, more in churches and synagogues and temples, that suicide bombing is not acceptable in Islam. And whoever does it commits suicide. And it's very clear. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِكُمْ رَحِيمًا. You want to change the reality? Then work in the reality. Be part of that reality. Don't come from a different reality and say, I'm 19 years old, 20 years old. I want to go to heaven. I don't have a job. This is where the milk gets mixed with the coffee. You know what I mean? Not that coffee is bad or milk is bad, but this is when you don't want it to be mixed and somebody mixes it. You say, I'm not drinking this coffee. I like my coffee plain, or I like my... This is where now Islam is mixed with something else. If a drop of blood falls in milk, would you drink it? This is what's happening now. Islam is milk. As you know, in the hadith, the Prophet's ascension to heaven and his trip, when Jibreel gave him a choice between wine and milk, he chose milk. He said, you chose fitra, you chose the natural disposition, the common sense, the human nature. You chose the clarity, and that represents Islam. No blood. And he chose it. He said, you chose the right thing. We want to get our milk, safe, clean, and isolated from any other agents. Very important that Islam cannot be mixed. These are gangsters and criminals, and they are told that the easiest way, and I have seen literature, by the way, and internet is filled with that garbage. And some people, preachers, who are in 6 months, they become preachers. They do something called intensive course. They go collect ijazas. I've seen those crooks. They go around and an old scholar, they sit by him, can you please give me ijaza? And they collect them. They say, no, I have license from different scholars. I went to those. They are crooks. They're fiasco. They're fake. And then they are good. They speak good English, better than me and you. Very, outspoken, have charisma, and then they start fooling this. And you see problems. They're spreading problems in Australia, Canada, US. They're promoting. What are they promoting? Instead of promoting women's rights and empowering women and youth, No, promote polygamy, promote, this, take welfare from the government or cheat in taxes in the name of Islam. These are dangerous people. They make you and I look like dishonest people that cannot be trusted. We need to fight them. You have to fight them, not the imam. Every one of you, because this cancer is spreading. I don't care, some of you got upset. Why did you call them cancer? They are worse than cancer. Is there any word worse than cancer? Give it to me, I will use it. They're worse than cancer. They're dangerous. They're all over the internet. Unfortunately, they have loud voices. And the media would allow them to speak because they're controversial. And they serve the purpose of those who want to see Islam in trouble and Muslims in trouble. We need to stop them. Okay? Are you with me? We have to do something. We need to say these people are not Muslim. Period. They can't be. You can't be Muslim. We said the Muslim few minutes ago is the one who avoids harming others with his hand and his tongue. We need to follow that. Allah says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. Look at his life and follow his example. He was a good human being. Even Abu Jahl, his enemy, and all his enemies said, listen, we do not say anything wrong about you. وَلَكِنْ نَكْرَهُ الَّذِي جِئْتَ بِهِ. We do not like what you just brought to us. I know some Muslims today, if Prophet ﷺ is sent, they wouldn't like what he says. He's going to tell them, straighten up. Be honest. Stop cheating. Don't lie. Be good to your neighbors. Go to interfaith programs. Huh? People want like that. People think, everything can come easy. We got to work hard. Number 3, we have to mainstream and routinize Islam. I'm going to speak briefly. You guys are smart and educated. Mainstream Islam. Islam is seen on the fringe, is not part of the mainstream. We need to make it routinized, part of every day. In Canada, so far, we're doing good, especially in Toronto, to a certain extent. But look, when these incidents happen in the last few months, hijabs were pulled, they were pushed. In some instances, some people attempted to push them to the tracks of the subway. When people are angry, they become emotional, and then they become unreasonable. Okay? So, you have to mainstream. People have to know that we are also human beings. We have feelings. When you see these things, one of the questions just on Tuesday night, they say, don't Muslims feel bad about what's happening in the world? I said, of course. They say, why do we don't hear about it? I said, what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? Yell and wail? What do you want us to do? Tell us, what can we do? Put yourself in my place. What would you? We have made announcements. We don't have means. Our Muslim fellow people don't want to spend money on campaign ads and media. They don't want to spend money on the image of Islam. What do you want us to do? We use whatever we can, our humble means, to project a positive image of Islam. Don't focus on differences, folks. I have seen, and I want to say, I'm going to say this. I'm sick and tired of what's going on the internet. Some Muslims, all they do, focus on differences. You know what a loser does? You know what a loser? Anybody wants to know what a loser so you don't become a loser? A loser, let's say I don't play basketball good. I'm very lousy. I say, oh, he doesn't know how to play. She doesn't know how to play. I'm good. I just say, I'm good. Play. No, I'm good. I'm awesome. They are not good. This is what we're doing. Oh, that religion, all we do. I'm sick in the real sense of the word. Sick and tired. You want to listen to something beautiful to uplift you. All you hear is, those are bad, those are this. A loser, in order for him to get credit and recognition, he discredits others. From the playground, children do this. Oh, don't be their friend, they are bad. I am good, play with me. Donald Trump is doing that too. You see, I am good, she is bad. I'm beautiful, she's ugly. Because she's ugly and she can't stand it, she has to make the other one ugly to look good. This is the reality. People who compare themselves to others are losers, with all due respect. Not two losers to you. This is the reality. So in order for Muslims to excel and to show the beauty of Islam, they should not talk about the ugliness of others. They should only talk about themselves and the principles. This is what's doing with these preachers. All they do is this. Ya Allah, khutbah. I used to say, no imams would do that. With this intensive courses, imams we're seeing these days, it's happening everywhere. Unfortunately, they speak very good English. But all they spew just, poison and misguiding people. Don't talk about crucifixion. Talk about Jesus being the Messiah. Muslim, Sunni, and Shia believe that after a lot of injustice and after a lot of pain, Jesus will be coming. When you tell Christians that Jesus is the Messiah, what? You Muslims believe Jesus is the Messiah? And for those of you who don't know what a Messiah means, is the ultimate ruler. Ultimate ruler, the one who rules the world. Like we said, you saw how their reaction was. I say, yes, Muslims say Jesus is important, is critical. Who believe? And by the way, as a Muslim, I have to believe in the gospel. Don't get into them gospel of Barnabas, gospel of Mary Magdalene, of Thomas or Luke or John or Matthew or Mark. Don't get into details. We believe in Injil. Quran does not tell us which one. Khalas. We believe in the gospel. You guys believe in the gospel? Of course. And the Torah. Not the Bible. We believe in the Torah and the gospel. Don't tell them Zabur. They don't know what Zabur. They think we are confused when it comes to Zabur. They don't consider Dawood as a prophet. Don't get into details. If you are going to get into these divisions and this, what did you benefit if they say Dawood is a prophet or not? We know that he was, according to the Quran, he's a prophet. According to them, he's not a prophet. Khalas. When they hear that we Muslims believe in Isa alayhi salam, kalimatullah, the word of Allah, like the Bible says, and the word became flesh. Kalimatullah. وَرُوحٌ min, and Spirit of Allah. What? Your religion? Yes. And Maryam is a prophet too. What? Yes, because definition in Islam, if you receive, that's why Ibn Hazm was right on this. He says, if you receive wahi and nubu'ah, you are a prophet. That's the definition. And she did. More than actually some prophets. Khalas. And wow, your religion is good. Your religion. Now I bring them. That's what Sayyidina Ja'far did with Habashi. We did last time. Focus on that khutbah so you can understand. We focus on, don't get into details. One day we had an open house and one of our brothers were excited about details. He said, tell them, it was Ismail, not Ishaq who was, Ya akhi, Ismail or Ishaq, who cares? At the end of the day, it's about Ibrahim and sacrifice. Khalas. Yeah, what do I get reward if it's Ismail or Ishaq? I love Ismail and Ishaq equally. Khalas. Yeah, we get into details, unnecessary information. Know it for yourself, leave it. You need to bring people, you need to focus on common things. We need to be smart. Smart, intelligent. Not that we have to focus on then when people come, they're willing to learn. Well, I understand. You have a different view. Okay. But if they say, no, you're against us, your religion, all it does demonizes us and thinks of us being bad and this, of course they're going to become what? They're going to become defensive. If Muslims were with Donald Trump and campaigning with him and whatever, he won't have those. But Muslims, we're just judging. I'm telling you, people's hearts can melt. The power of good da'wah, a good invitation can make wonders. Okay, look at the Prophet ﷺ, the famous Hilf al-Fudul. And he said in Islam, if I am called by the Arabs, this is after they were established, if I am called back to the alliance of virtue, Hilf al-Fudul, if I am called back to peacemaking and unity with non-Muslims, including the people of Mecca, I would definitely go. I am one of the things I praise the Arabs for before Islam, or the Quraysh, before Islam is that they did the alliance of the virtue to stop injustices, to stop wrongdoing. And they said, let's stop bloodshedding. Let's work together. And he said, I am with you. He said, I take pride in what I did. And if they call me again, in spite of the conflicts, I'll go. And we are people who like to establish peace. We need to join forces with whom? With everybody who stands for the poor, the weak, the helpless. Racism against black people is wrong. We should stand up for the black people. Isn't Bilal black? Isn't Ibn Mas'ud black? And many Sahaba were black. And the Prophet ﷺ made Bilal to stand on the Kaaba. Nobody was allowed except a black man from Ethiopia to make a point that there is no difference. I said it many times. Many of us are racist. It's called hidden racism. I know that. Whether it's India or Arabia or everyone. Some of you here sitting looking at me, you're racist. I know that. Allah. I know, you are racist. Ask yourself, your culture has racism. You has class, social caste. You take that, Islam? The lighter or darker is different. You are racist, with all due respect. Are we really implementing Islam? Racism is deep. Slavery is wrong, but still in some of the parts of the world, including Muslim countries, still exists. Racism leads to discrimination. Racism leads to slavery. And that's why Islam slowly eradicated it. Now these foolish people, these Daesh, they want to bring it back. They want to bring slavery again. Stand up against these brainwashed terrorists who believe that they can go to heaven by harming others. I'm telling you, you don't go to Jannah by harming others. A martyr, shaheed, is a noble man. Who in the day of judgment summoned with the prophets and Siddiqun. أولئك الذين أنعم الله عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحون. Who fights for something right. Who defends his country. Who defends his honor, his family. Who defends his nation. Who defends his deen. These guys, no. Recently in a church, we had, and many brothers and sisters went with me, speaking of explaining. Be careful from the books you have brought from back home and start using your brain. Allah has given us a brain for a reason. And I will talk about the brain. Allah has given us a brain for a reason. To think, to analyze before we speak. We went and they say, you Muslim, you Jew, you Christian, pull out the most difficult sayings in your book. One of the verses I pulled is chapter 5, verse 51. I had a discussion with the biggest scholars of India, and some scholars from Pakistan, and some scholars in the Middle East, and I told them to change their translations. Some of them accepted, and some of them said, no. It doesn't mean don't be friends with Christians. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء. This verse from chapter 5 is the most controversial verse for them. You go in the internet and see, don't trust Muslims. They say that. Don't trust Muslims. Why? Because they don't trust you, and their religion tells them don't be friends. You just Google it, you'll find that. And trust is what we have. It takes years to build trust. Seconds to take it away, and forever to repair it. If they stop trusting Muslims, and the world is heading towards that direction, lives will have no value. People will be killed. Houses will be raided. Properties will be damaged and stolen. It's going to happen. Somebody's working hard, whoever that somebody is, to destroy that trust that we establish with our neighbors. Imagine your neighbor doesn't trust you. I heard that. Imagine people don't trust you when now attempts to destroy and maim and kill all over the world. It happened in Canada more than once. And still, wallahi, people have mercy. They say, you know what? I know so-and-so who works with me. No, they can't be like that. They can't be. And of course, we go to churches and places, but that's not enough. We talk about millions of people. Why do people accept the fact that Muslims should be banned from entering the United States? Why? They are supporting because they're told, don't trust Muslims. Look their books. You know, many evangelical Christians, they are spreading, they say, you know what? These guys are dangerous. Look at their Quran. It says, and they quote, they say, we're not quoting anything. We're quoting Yusuf Ali, Marmaduke Pickthall, and mainstream translations that you guys are saying they are the Quran. And I never said it's the Quran. I said it's Yusuf Ali Quran meaning. It's his interpretation. May Allah bless him. But he was not an Arab. He didn't study Arabic like exactly. I met, by the way, a translator in US many years ago. A famous translation that you guys have. And I started speaking Arabic with him, and actually he couldn't speak Arabic. I said, oh my God, he doesn't even know how to speak Arabic, and he translated the Quran. I swear by God, I'm not going to say his name, may Allah bless his soul. He was a good man. Marmaduke Pickthall, may Allah bless him, he was a British scholar, but he didn't really know Arabic. Their English was perfect. We don't know about their Arabic, how perfect he was. Maybe they studied, but still. You're going to translate the word of Allah. But anyways, all of them, most of them say, except, Muhammad Asad, may Allah bless him, Leopold Weiss, who was Austrian, really, compared to any translation, I think he really very sensitive, especially when verses about women, verses about this. It translates, oh, you who believe, do not take Christians and Jews as your friends. That's not my translation. My translation, oh, you who believe, don't refer to Jews and Christians for religious guidance. Wali is a person who is your mentor, who is your supporter, who gives you guidance. That's what it means. Wali, إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. Meaning, and I said it in the church, I said, listen, if a Jewish person comes to me to ask me about the halakha or the midrash or the mishnah or anything in the Torah, should I answer him? They said, no. What should I do? They said, you should send him to a rabbi. I said, that's what the verse means. If a Christian man comes to ask me about communion or Eucharist or anything Christian, or confession, what should I do? They said, you should refer him to a Christian. I said, listen, I can give him general guidance, but I cannot answer questions about it. I should refer. I said, that's what Allah is saying. Do not take the Jews and Christians as your reference, wali. There is the word sadiq. Sahib, Allah did not use that. It's clearly, this is one. There are hundreds like that translations. And they're reading them and they're saying this is what is. Most 99% of translations will tell you don't take Jews and Christians. So you're telling me, your religion it says, don't be friend of me. You think I'll trust you? Trust is like an eraser. The more you use, the more you take away from it, the smaller it gets. And this is what's happening to us. Folks, please, the world is scared of Muslims. So what should we do? If you have a cat, just give you an example, or a person, let's go person, who's scared of you, what do? You give them assurance. You visit them. You give candies, chocolate, flowers. You invite them to food. You share with them. Think of that. A child who's scared of you doesn't want to shake hands with you. What do? Do you frown at him? Or do you smile and soften? We need to smile more, soften our hearts, and reach people. And you are responsible here in Mississauga and Brampton and Toronto. This is we're responsible for this. Let us work together to take away this and bring trust. If trust is taken out, folks, I need you to remember my words. If they don't trust us, expect the worst to happen. Build good relations with your neighbors. Build good relations with your colleagues. You remember what I just said a few seconds ago? Smile more. And smile from your heart. Don't fake it. Don't be a liar. Don't be an actor. Be a true, sincere. You need to believe in it. But unfortunately, if you don't believe in that and you believe that we are going to heaven listen, where does it say in the Quran that we are going to heaven? Allah says, I will Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam was asked. Look what he said. لن يدخل الجنة أحد بعمله. Nobody will enter Jannah with his deeds. Now some of you say, oh my God, I did Hajj and I pray and this. He said, this is wala anta ya Rasulullah. He said, none of you will enter Jannah with his deeds. They said, even you, Prophet of Allah. He said, even me. إلا أن يتغمدني الله برحمته. Unless Allah covers me with His mercy. We are all in need of His mercy. Allah is Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. He gives food and blessings to everybody. To everybody. He sends rain. He doesn't say, oh, go rain in Pakistan, don't rain in India. Or go a little bit like this, rain in Malaysia, but don't touch Thailand. Or go to Indonesia, but don't go too far to Philippines. Come on. Allah loves all of us. And He gives us chance. So, let's spread the mercy. ارحموا من في الأرض يرحمكم من في السماء. Be merciful to those on earth if you want more mercy from Allah. Very important to understand these principles. Unless we spread the mercy. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Oh Muhammad, we have not sent you except as mercy to the world. When they see these bombs and these killings and these I call them crooks and fiasco, people who are in the internet talking nonsense, they see them spewing poison. What will they understand? Be careful of internet and study Islam. Go back to the simple Islam. Go to the Islam of your mother and father. Go back to the mother 60 years, 50 years ago, 40 years. Go back. That Islam is the real Islam. The Islam that is imported now, there's too much hate. Translation of the Quran, hate. Hadith is mistranslated. It's not categorized and with the reason why it was said. Throw those books. Don't rely on Google for everything. Study. Islam never contradicts common sense. And people will enter. Ask anybody who converted to Islam, why did you become Muslim? It made sense to me. You see, it's all about common sense. And Allah will throw, of course, iman in our hearts. Allahumma arhamna ya Rabbil Alameen. واهدنا واهد بنا ووفقنا للخيرات وجنبنا المنكرات. اللهم علمنا ديننا وفقهنا فيه وصلى اللهم وسلم على محمد استغفر الله انه غفور رحيم.